Good morning. January the 6th, I believe. It's 5:55 in the morning. Been a while since I made this other video. I've been having a little bit of problems. I wouldn't necessarily say a problem, maybe a little bit of an issue. My memory is getting really bad, and living in the moment is becoming real every day. And me trying to dive into my memory, I'm having a really hard time with it. I'm having a hard time keeping up. I was trying to speak to somebody yesterday about some incidences that happened in my life recently, and I couldn't remember some of the story. So I've been in this spiritual journey not very long. I think since 2019 is when I started my spiritual journey, and meeting my twin flame is actually what triggered my spiritual journey. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say triggered it, but things started to happen once I met my twin flame. Almost kind of like God showing me, telling me. And I've always been gifted for as long as I can remember, and I've mentioned this in my videos, seeing things, hearing things, feeling things that are not typically visible. So I've always been gifted. Once I met my twin flame, and with those who are not aware of what a twin flame is, it's another individual that's put into this world that carries the same energy and soul that you do. So it's kind of like biological twins, but in a spiritual sense, and far more advanced. The love between two twin flames is compared to the same love as God. It's very strong. It's very strong energy. When you two come together, wow, it's incredible. You're meant to meet your twin flame at a certain point in life when you're starting to run into some troubles, emotionally, spiritually, maybe. And they're set in your path to show you that it's time to heal. It's time to clear out that stuff that no longer holds any more value to you. It weighs you down. And most of the time it's your gifted people that meet their twin flames, that have a twin flame. Because you're set on this earth for a purpose and for a reason. Your gifts are there for a reason, to help others. And you have been shadowed or blocked by certain things in life, the ego, and God puts a check on that by sending you an individual to show you this is what you need to work on now, to clear this out, to make your gifts even stronger, to make you more powerful, more sensitive. I hate using the word powerful, but you know what I mean. So I met her, and we started to speak, and it's crazy. It's so crazy to me that what had happened when you meet your twin flame, it opens up a portal to the spirit world. Your gifts start to come out. It's the love from that twin flame that you feel in your heart. It's clearing out the ego, and once that love starts to take over and you start getting rid of the hate, because twin flames are love, and that's when your gifts start to come out. Once you start opening up your heart, you start to realize things. And that's crazy, because I was not very young. Like I said, 2019, it took me till 2019 of all that pain in my life. Wow. After a narcissistic relationship too. 10 years with a narcissist. But anyway, so once my heart started to open, my gifts started to come out, and I didn't realize it. Still not conscious of the spiritual world. So the twin flames, you have a divine feminine and you have a divine masculine. One of them is more masculine, one is more feminine. I was the more feminine, and she was the more masculine, the more feminine, the more emotional, the more spiritual, the more godly, more emotional, if I didn't already say that. And the masculine is more of, it's got to be in your face, do the research, you know what I'm saying, don't cry, you know what I'm saying, be tough, be strong. And that's the way she was taught. I was the one doing all the blubbering and the crying, and she was the one doing all the research. So every time that something odd would come up between her and I, she would do a research. She would look it up. She didn't realize it, but that was God. And every time something crazy, and it was always something crazy, and neither one of us knew what was going on. Neither one of us knew anything about twin flames, empaths, the supernatural. Well, I kind of knew about the supernatural, but she didn't. So every time something crazy, reading thoughts, reading emotions, reading feelings, physical pains, every time that would happen, she would have to look it up. This is not real. Something's not right. But every time that she would research, it was right. It would go along. She came up with this word, twin flame, and she started researching on twin flames. She was the one that told me about it. She was the one that told me about empath. I didn't know anything about an empath, but after explaining to her things that were going on in my life, things I have experienced that were not normal, she started researching that. So I found out that I could meditate. Didn't know anything about meditation. Now, I did yoga for about 2.5 years back in my late 20s for back issues. So I guess I kind of had some type of feel of calming the mind and meditation. And when I was meditating, I would concentrate on her while I was doing it. And I would actually telepathically connect to her, and she would feel me, and we would relay messages back and forth where she would feel me touching her. And I'm not going to get into details. So I knew that about the meditation. I knew about that. So I was meditating, connecting to her, started doing some more research. She did. And I started finding out about a meditation. I started realizing that I could connect to her with my mind. I found out that I can connect to her to take away her physical pains. And it would happen. I started to realize some things like, wow, I started to see colors. All these things started to happen as I started to meditate. But as I started to meditate, and I researched, the whole point of meditation is to clear out your mind. So that's what I was doing. I was meditating, I was clearing out my mind, I was getting rid of my thoughts. And this was a process for me. It took some time because I had ADHD. I had ADHD, no longer. And it took a while to do it, but like I said, I haven't been in this very long, so I'm evolving daily in this spiritual journey. I am going through one energy upgrade after another, like I'm talking about within just a couple of weeks of each other, and it's crazy. And the thing is when I've been clearing out my thoughts, and this is becoming a process, and I'm becoming really good at it. So as I'm clearing out my thoughts and getting rid of old patterns, thought process, I'm reprogramming my mind. So old thoughts that I carried into my mind, it's almost kind of like they're going away. I'm regenerating my mind, just like I would regenerate my DNA or my energy with an upgrade. So I'm upgrading my mind in the process as well, which is pretty incredible. 9/11 on the time here, but so yeah, so I'm reprogramming my mind. Old thought patterns are non-existent, and I wouldn't say they're gone. They're just no longer there. I wouldn't say like that, but there's no more value to them. So in doing so, it's causing some memory loss. If I'm reprogramming my mind to think more of loving and positive thoughts, other thoughts don't matter. And I'm becoming very much aware of my thoughts now. This is becoming pretty incredible. Like, I'm very conscious of any negative thought that comes into my mind, and I'm aware of it, and I see it, and I get rid of it as soon as it happens. And it doesn't necessarily have to be negative thoughts. Any type of thought, I'm becoming aware of it. Even if it's a positive thought, I'm becoming very much aware of it. And that's me starting to control my mind and my thoughts and my thought patterns. I'm regenerating my mind. So I've already regenerated my soul. I've already started regenerating my DNA and my energy, and my uploads is what they call, because I'm getting some of these as well. So my memory's terrible, and I didn't really honestly meant to go into this video about memory loss, but I did want to touch bases on why my memory is getting bad. So the last time I made a video, I had went through an upgrade, a Kundalini, connected to an individual, went through a Kundalini, came out of that sick as a dog. When I came out of being sick, I felt like a machine. I felt great. I felt incredible. Like the best I've felt in a long time. Then I started to feel strange. I connect to people very well, and they connect to me. And if I'm connected to somebody, I can pick up on their emotions. And I started getting really strong sexual energy. And I wasn't exactly sure where it was coming from. This was probably about a week or so after coming out of the sickness and feeling great. And I wasn't sure where it was coming from. I know that I've had other people connect to me, and they may have sexual thoughts with me, and I'll feel that. This was different. This was really odd. And in the process of that, I started to notice some symptoms of Kundalini again. So I kind of researched Kundalini rising. Anytime that I do research, or if I'm looking up something, I contribute that to God. God is showing me, trying to get my attention, because anytime that I see these numbers, I look them up, and typically it's a message from God. So anytime that I'm looking something up to find out what it means, that's God guiding me. So I looked up Kundalini rising, and the first thing that came up was, you may feel sensual or sexual, blissful desires. That's a symptom of Kundalini. Kundalini, when it happens, it triggers the chakras from the root to the crown. The sacral chakra is our most sexual chakra, and it's actually one of the lower, the second lowest chakra above the root chakra. So that made sense the way it came in. And then as the energy started rising, my body started to heat up very strongly. I started getting really hot. So now that made total sense to me again. I came out of that feeling good, and then all of a sudden, here comes another one. So now I'm going through another Kundalini as we speak right now. I feel like I'm about to burst into flames. I'm seeing things more clearly. Colors are more clearer. Thought process, as far as when I meditate and the upgrades are coming in, I'm having past life dreams. I had a past life dream the other day. I knew that my soul was back in the Western days, but it's dated back further than that. But it was a Western dream. I was going into a town with a dog, and I was young in this dream. It looked like I was probably in my 20s. And I was walking into this town, and as I was walking into this town, I looked to the left, and there was about 3 buildings, one on the left, one on the right, one across from each other, and one in the distance. One of the buildings was red. And to my right, I'm walking into the town, there's a building, and it's open. It looks like a barn, but it's opened. And I say it looks like a barn because it has stables in it. But there's no animals, there's people. And these people are sitting on what looks like benches, and they're eating. They look like settlers that have come into this town. As I'm passing that, I'm going into another one. So I actually got one on the right, and I'm going into another one. As I'm going into this other one, there are benches on one side and then on the other side, and I'm actually walking in between the people that are in this place, between the benches. And these benches are pretty close together. I'm walking up on a little boy. And this little boy looked like he was about 5 or 6. And there's another boy, looks like he's about 10 or 11. And there's a woman. As I'm walking in between these people, this boy goes out in front of me. And he cuts me off. Not on purpose. He just didn't see me. And he apologized to me. The demeanor of this boy is not the typical demeanor of a boy that you would see this day and time. Very proper, very polite, very nice. Not saying anything bad about anybody. I know there's some good kids out there, but it's not something that you see often. Old-timey dress the lady was wearing. So the boy cuts me off, and as he cuts me off, apologizes. I'm talking to him now. I'm starting to talk to the boy, and he's excited about winning a prize. He's going to enter into a contest or something, and there's a bowl, and in the bowl there's some toys, and he's wanting the toys that's in the bowl. The lady said that she was actually interested in the bowl, so it's kind of a win-win for both of them. So it was a very strange dream. Definitely from the Western days, the way everything was set up. But yeah, that was a very strange dream. And just I'm seeing things a lot more clear. Things are becoming clearer to me. Every time that I go through these upgrades, things are clearer and clearer. And it's just really weird. It's really strange, the faces I'm seeing, connecting to people and feeling the things. My intuition is 100% accurate. My manifestations are coming in really strong. That's very obvious too. So things are just becoming a lot more clear. I hope you guys had a great holiday, Happy New Year, and a good Christmas, if I didn't mention that in another video. I hope the beginning of the year is going well for you. We make things how we want to make them, so please try to be positive. Not everything is always going to work out and go as planned. Just don't beat yourself up over it. Always try to think positive and loving thoughts. And I love you guys, and I wish the best for you. I really do. And Godspeed.